Does it just go? I don't know. If I knew, I would know. Say I would be more confident in me knowing. Well, I guess I know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Silly Goose Chronicles. Quack. You get it? Because that was a duck. And, you know, what other sound would a silly goose make than a sound other than a goose? But my name is Tristan Sartoris. This is Full Circus, and I am happy to be here with you guys today. Welcome to a new era, kind of technically not for real. You know, much like a anniversary of a podcast or a New Year's or a birthday or whatever you kind of cross into a threshold of, this is a reset, the grand, yeah, right? You feel this implication and you feel this kind of need and necessity that I have to reinvent myself. I have to bring it to a new level. And sometimes, okay, and this, all of this, by me not changing a thing, is to illustrate more to you. This isn't because I'm lazy. This is purely from a psychological standpoint to make sure I'm mentally and emotionally reassuring you that it's okay to not progress. Sometimes it's okay to just stay the same. Why do we always have to be hustling? Why do I always have to have 4 side hustles and constantly be climbing the chains and making sure I'm making the most out of every single hour of the day? Why can't I just sit back and relax and do nothing if I'm having fun? You know what? And I think that's the grand message today, is that sometimes it's okay to just be, you know? Just be whatever you are, and that's, oh, he's good enough. Oh my gosh, he was joking, but he came around and got something. Yeah, guys, I don't know how I'm feeling exactly. I mean, I know I'm feeling good, but I know I'm not feeling great. You know, I'm like in that weird point where I want to be at an 8, but I'm at a 7.5, and I feel the need. I got this little energy drink here, and it's called a Juvie. I don't know how it tastes, but it sounded like menacing and kind of diabolical. Ooh, what a bad boy. He's drinking a Juvie, you know? What does that mean? Now, I'm definitely going to take an energy drink because I'm still in this weird point where I'm taking them and it's making me tired, but it's giving me life, but it's making me feel like I have, you know, something, like I've taken something, so I feel like I'm skyrocketing, but it's also kind of crashing my rocket. You know, like I'm a very poor astrophysicist or whoever designs rockets, rocket scientist. But I don't know what I'm doing with caffeine yet, and I'm still just kind of in limbo, and I go back and forth. So I don't know. I could take this. And part of me, man, should I take it before the podcast? I could get excited. I could get jazzed up again. But what if it backfires and I get all sleepy again? I don't want that. So I don't know, man. We're just trying to figure out life. We're trying to figure out energy. And what I've realized is that I don't think it has anything to do with the caffeine. I just got to clean up my diet a little bit more, okay? And that is, I think, the greatest and the grandest issue of them all currently in my life. The diet is what's killing me. And I just keep door dashing or just going out and getting snacks or certain things. And even if it's not completely unhealthy, it's not exactly healthy either. Okay, I want to be having more whole foods and really taking care of my body. But yet, for some reason, there's just been so much work here. And in my brain, you know, I'm trying to treat myself like a dog. Here's some reward, you know, if you get this done, you get to have some wings or some pizza or 2 biggie bags. So I'm working the midnight oil, burning the midnight oil, but I'm also working it. And I'm putting all this effort into it. And I tell myself as soon as I get it done at midnight or 1 a.m. or whenever, because I'm up late, then I get to have myself a nice little treat. And I've been doing exactly that. But then halfway through the day, before I've even done the work, I'm like, well, if I'm going to eat it anyways, might as well get something now so I don't have to do it later in the middle of the night or have to DoorDash or have to have someone deliver it, you know, or whatever, right? I'm trying to use logic for my own benefit, and I do exactly that, and I start eating bad. And now I feel so crappy that I put the work off even later. And then I stay up even later and just trying to catch up to get the work done. And then I'm like, well, now I still did a good job. Do I not deserve a snack? I always deserve a snack, I think. But now even more so because I really conquered the middle of the night, the darkness. Batman has nothing on me when it comes to being productive in the shadows, but I got it done. So then I have a second snack, and now I'm up late because I'm enjoying the food, and I sleep in, and my whole schedule's out of whack. And I'm trying to blame the caffeine, but I think it's a me problem, guys. This is a product of a bad routine, and I don't know what to do about it, quite honestly, but probably not eat junk. And that's the quest today. That is what we're going to do. So far, I've had just fruit and a protein shake. And I don't know if I feel great, but I feel like I deserve a snack. Okay, I don't always know how I feel, but I know I always deserve something, some sort of food that's some sort of pick me up. But anyways, guys, I am super stoked to be here with you today. I'm super stoked to always be having fun. I was trying something new with the camera. I don't know. The last one, it was out of focus. It kept trying to grab onto the mic arm and the computer, and I don't know how to fix that yet. I'm not exactly camera tech savant, With the old one, there's just a few settings, but now with these, you start upgrading your equipment, and all of a sudden it unlocks an ocean of opportunities to screw up. And there's different apertures and shutter speeds and this and that, and you're like dials, click and dial, point. Now there's decimals everywhere. I'm like, where do I put this? I don't know how to adjust it. And now the blurs, maybe like a quarter inch of this spot might be blurry or out of focus, and I don't know. So I was trying to mess with the settings, and it ended up making me really pale. And I thought, no way, dude. So I went back to the automatic settings that we were using before, so it might blur out again, but at the very least my mom will not make fun of me again. She will not make me fun. My mom will not make me fun. I make me fun. But I will not give her a chance to roast me or my complexion ever again. So I'm sorry if it's blurry, but just know that I'm doing this purely out of pride and nothing less. Guys, I gotta talk to you for a minute. Okay, this is a big deal to me, and you might notice because I even painted on the back here. All right, I made this little graphic that says "vulnerable rabbit," little portal, little arrow there. I thought maybe that's something that would be in Looney Tunes, where he's trying to trick somebody that's trying to catch him, like over here, and he would direct them down into the hole. But the Looney Tunes movie is out, and it will not be out for much longer. In fact, it was only supposed to be in theaters for like 5 days total. Okay, I saw this new Looney Tunes movie, and it was magical. It was great. It was beautiful. It's amazing, dude. And I'm telling everybody, you should go see it, and you should go watch this. And this is not as, I get it, I'm a very childlike and childish and immature little fellow. And you go, well, he likes silly voices and little fun things. And, that's not, I'm not coming at it from the goofball perspective, okay? I didn't like Looney Tunes for a long time. You watch it when you're like 6, 7 years old. But this was something I rediscovered in my 20s, where I came back to, getting into voice acting and just animation and art. And I found a new appreciation for it when you go back and you watch these 1950s and 70s, these Looney Tunes. And it's just how impressive, and the grain, like all these things were there's so much care and effort that goes into hand-drawn animation. And that's not to say, like, I don't know all the intricate details of a 3D animation, like how we just rig the models up for Frozen or whatever, but every freaking frame hand-drawn and scanned in and thrown up, and you can see the grain and the noise, and there's just so much more care, dude, and it's so beautiful, especially in a world where we have more and more AI, and we have more and more, automatic, and everything's generated and just done for us. Like, this movie was gorgeous, dude, and I don't use that word lightly, okay? Every freaking frame was smooth and buttery and beautiful, and I rediscovered Looney Tunes, and I started appreciating that from not only the artistic perspective, but from the directors and the production. They had logic, and they had rules, and they built these characters, and they fleshed them out. I know it seems all silly on the surface, but there's tons of good documentaries. Super cool. But mostly as a voice actor, you watch these little shorts, and when you watch a movie or any cartoon and we roll the credits, there's hundreds of people doing this and this and this and that. If you watch any Looney Tunes little short or whatever, it just says voice characterization by Mel Blanc. He does all of it, dude, and it's so cool and it's so impressive. So I got really into Looney Tunes. It's a long story, but I got really into Looney Tunes just like in the last 5 years or so. I'm like, man, this is magic. Then I'm getting emails. I don't know why I'm getting notifications for that. Anyways, I got really into it, and I've been loving it. But then this new movie, dude, they've been trying to make these Looney Tunes movies for years now. Okay, I think there's been 3. There was the Day the Earth Blew Up. This one just came out. Then you have Coyote versus Acme, and then there's Bye Bye Bunny. It doesn't really matter. But there has never been a Looney Tunes movie theatrically ever, dude. There was Space Jam, but it's with live action. They just wanted to put, Michael Jordan or LeBron James in there and sell money. But this is awesome, dude. And it's so cool. It's so great. And also, dude, with Looney Tunes, it's nice because they don't just hire celebrity actors. Like, they really just let the thing speak for itself. It says Daffy Duck and Porky Pig in the Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up. Like, they're in the movie. It's not, we cast The Rock as Porky Pig so we could sell some tickets. If you smell what Porky Pig is cooking, And that's not what they did. They just let the guy live. Porky Pig is Porky Pig. Porky Pig's nobody else but Porky. I love it. I love it, man. I love it. I inserted this clip afterwards because I remembered it, by the way. It's not making any money. That's what sucks about it. They actually canceled the movie, but then Ketchup Studios, I believe is what it was called, they went and bought it out from them because Warner Bros. Just wanted to use a little write-off, and they were like, no, we'll give you 15 mil. We're going to try and release it in theaters. Nobody's going to go see it. I saw it twice already. Nobody was in the theater with me. But it was so freaking good, man. It was charming. It was immaculate. It was fun. And it was just genuinely a good movie regardless of, like, wow, art. So it was so sick, man. But yeah, it's the first ever theatrical Looney Tunes movie ever. If it doesn't make any money, you're probably not going to get another one. But it was super, super cool. And more people need to go see that, dude. And there just needs to be more. I don't know, man. It's cool to see. It's cool to feel like people care about something they're making and not just going, well, let's throw another sequel out there, or let's do another remake of Lilo and Stitch or Snow White. And I got no beef against any of those, okay? But this was something that you can just feel it, man. I like anything that you can feel like people care about it, even if you're not a fan. There's been plenty of things where I don't like it, but I'm like, man, they care about what they're making, and that is awesome. All right, rant over. Go see the movie. I'm going to go see it again. Actually, some people went to go see it, probably me, buying multiple tickets. I bought a ticket. I didn't even go to the showing, okay? That's how supportive I am. Like, man, my $5, it's going to get you to the top. I actually just woke up too late because I was up late snacking. But anyways, yeah, hopefully it gets some more traction and people just, appreciate the Looney Tunes, I guess. And not just Looney Tunes, but it's more so about 2D animation and care, dude. That's what I respect, and I appreciate effort. At its core, passion rules the world, baby. But anyways, dude, what else has happened? Oh, I went to the dollar store last night because, tale from the dollar store. I'm a man of the peeps. We know I like a hectic or chaotic situation, and where better of a place to go than somewhere where they're not always wearing shoes. So, dude, I walk in there, and I'm looking for something fun and exciting, okay? That's the only reason you go there, not just because, the Pringles are, a quarter less. But I walk in there, doors open immediately. I'm thrilled. Other people, they get stressed out. There's noise. There's chaos. Sirens, alarms. Me, I'm like, I'm at home. And they're speaking over the megaphone. Put the stuff down or we're calling the police. I repeat, put the stuff down or we're calling the police. I'm like, whoa, this is exciting. So other people are kind of like walking out the door and like, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to be in here. I don't know what's going on. Me, I walk to the aisle. I'm a snoop. I'm excited. A story! Dun-dun-dun. I'm like a journalist, but for just nonsense. Say, boy, what's the word? Let's see. See anybody? Were they wearing a strange mustache? What are they doing? What are they stealing? What's going on? So I'm investigating. I'm doing my due diligence as a human being to make sure I'm looking for the weird. So I walk over there. I hear the noise. Hey, put this stuff down. We're going to call the police. We're going to call them. You're in trouble. Get out of the store. Get out right now. And I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? I see a 9-year-old boy holding Snickers and Twix, and he's putting them in his little fanny pack. He goes, why do I got to put them back? They're mine. I deserve them. I just want candy. And they're like, get out, or we're telling your parents, or we're calling the cops. You're going to jail. Speaking of juvie, I guess. But anyways, I'm like, kind of a letdown, but also it's like, it's funny that this was over the megaphone and all this noise. It's just this little kid disrupting everything. I'm like, ooh, yeah, children. So I was hoping something more would happen, but it didn't. He's like, fine. He throws all the candy back to the shelf and he walks up to the counter. And I assume he left at this point, but I guess he didn't because I went to get all my things. And I walk up to the register to see that he's there, and he's trying to check out a couple things. And he's like, I don't have any money. She's like, well, you got to pay for it somehow. He's like, I'm going to use Apple Pay. And then he's just holding his phone. I don't know how he's supposed to have Apple Pay. He's 9 years old. So he's sitting there for minutes just trying to figure out Apple Pay, flicking. And that's, I'm not the most technically savant guy. We know this. I couldn't even set up the camera properly. But I know that's not how you get Apple Pay to work. I don't even know if Dollar Tree has Apple Pay. But anyways, so he's sitting there and I'm flicking. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at the letter. Like, how long are we going to do this? So anyway, she's like, you know what? You go by, figure that out, or call your parents, or skedaddle, all right? I'm going to take care of the customers. I go, oh, goodness gracious. Sorry, kitty. Yeah, better luck next time. You know, I'm a champion. I got money. What a winner I am. So I walk up, and she's like, oh, kids, you know. I'm like, you know, what are you going to do with those? They're just, they're out there doing their thing. She's like, I know. It's just the scammers keep getting younger and younger and younger. I don't know what it is about all this sugar and candy, but they're fiends. They're addicted to it. And I go, I know, right? And then I dump my bag of just 9 packs of Skittles and Sour Patch Kids. I go, freaking, you're not gonna tell my mom, are you? You know, I was making fun of the kid, like, all this candy, and I have way more than he ever did. And like, I have children or brothers or whatever. I'm a grown man. I have Apple Pay. But anyways, it was funny but slightly embarrassing because I thought we were gonna be trashing the kids together, and she looks at me like, I don't want to be here. You're not gonna call the cops on me, are you? Don't call my dentist. But yeah, it's a fun little thing. It's a fun little place to be, dude. If you ever want to look for the noise, if you ever want to look for the fires of life, it's at the Dollar Tree. No, it never fails, man. It's so much fun. But anyways, it was a good time, and all the candy was just as good. I don't know if that kid ever got his. He's gonna get his. But he did sit out at the front, and he looked pretty disappointed. Maybe I should have bought him something, perchance, but I don't know if that was the right move to do, okay? The good guy Tourette's in me wanted to, like, save the day, but also I was like, no, lessons need to be learned, okay? You can't just steal things and get away with it. But also it's hard for me to, like, don't steal candy. Candy's not good for... But it's cool, though. It's cool, probably. Anyways, guys, you know what else I've been seeing in the news a ton? And I got a bone to pick with people, okay? And this is something I'm about to complain about the whole world, all you guys, everybody encompassing. Not really, but most is. Protest, but not like, you know, let's fight for our rights or fight for this or that, but it's protesting products, okay? Now, this is going on a lot with Elon and Teslas, and people hate Elon, and I'm not exactly super plugged into all the reasons why, but I know they despise him so much that they're lighting Teslas on fire at the dealerships and other people's cars. And it's not just this. There was the whole thing with Bud Light or Target or whatever it is. People have beef and a problem with whatever they're doing, like, oh, I'm going to destroy it, I'm going to get out, just leave. Forget about it. You know, why are we damaging other people's property? Like, if you want to protest, just don't buy it. And if that doesn't put a dent in their market, then hey, you weren't their demographic to begin with. You know, if I'm like, you know what? I don't like the new Barbie models. I'm not going to be buying them. Hey, their sales are going to be just fine, right? So I don't know why we have to get aggressive and everybody's got to be and they're so angry, and it's not even that they're doing damage to just the products in general, okay? You're taking innocent people's cars, right? This is just some random Joe Schmo, right? He's just working an accountant job, happy to go home and grill for his family on this Sunday, but he walks back out to the parking lot to find that his car's on fire because you have a problem with the guy who made the car. That does not hurt Elon Musk whatsoever. In fact, he's like, well, my car's gone. Now I got to get a new Tesla. If anything, dude, you're making more sales. You're making more Teslas. It completely backtrack. It's not doing anything, but I can't even justify in my head how it makes sense to attack just a regular guy who owns the thing of the guy that you don't like. All right. Now, I don't really have anybody I hate, although I will say, in the worst of scenarios, okay, let's talk about Satan himself, I guess. All right, self-proclaimed Satan hater, you know, I will go after him. I will make fun of him if he's sending out tweets and he's like grammatically incorrect, and then he's like, oh, I'll get their souls, and he spells it E-R-E. I'm like, it's actually E-I-R, stupid. You know, I'm a hater. I'm trolling him. I'm after him. But if Satan came out with a product and everybody loved it, okay, maybe it's a little mini fire pit. He goes, yeah, we got little mini hells here. We call it hell in a handbasket. La, 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 la. And then everyone loves it. Okay, I'm not going to go around kicking over people's fire pits and throwing them on the garbage. I want to scrap it. You know, I'm just like, hey, have it. I'm not your demographic, Lucifer. I don't really care what you do. People want it, buy it. Go do what you want. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense to constantly attack other people's fire pits because I don't like Satan himself. But if you love Satan, I guess, honestly, that's a, look, again, Satan hater, but that was kind of great marketing. If you wanted to do little mini fire pits, we'll see. I have no idea. But anyways, guys, just stop attacking people. All right. I'm not saying attack, especially I don't know all the intricate details that make up hate, but it just, the innocent people specifically, don't go after them. He didn't do anything wrong, all right? He was like, I want a new car. The guy's like, well, I can get you a Tesla. He said, sure, I got a Tesla. And now he's out of money, or his insurance going up, or whatever. Leave people alone, guys. Can't we all just get along, kind of? If we all watched the Looney Tunes, everything would be much better. This doesn't happen in that kind of movie. I've been doing that a lot, dude. I've been doing so many Looney Tunes impressions and voices constantly, and people love them. People love the impressions and the videos I do, but I'll tell you this much. People don't love it when you practice, because I'm doing that in the bread aisle. I'm doing that in the store, at the DMV. Okay, I'm doing that to the mailman. I'm doing it constantly, and it's not perfect yet. People only like the impressions if they're good. I found that, okay? And that's why I only upload them when I feel like they're at a certain level. But I'm like, what's up, Doc? And they're like, please stop. I have to go home. Like, wait, one more. What's up, Doc? And like, what are you doing here? I'm just knocking on people's doors. Can you tell me if this sounds like Bugs Bunny? But yeah, people do not like them. People get very annoyed, and I can tell that in their faces when you're doing that out in public, or even with just friends. If you're like, but it's nice. It's nice when you slowly begin to figure it out, and they're like, yes, that's fun. It's so fun. What else is happening, man? Dude? We went golfing for the first time yesterday. That was super pleasant, kind of. Here's the problem with golfing, is that it's nice to go out there and just make sure you're still bad at it. I don't know why I thought maybe after a season off, I was going to return to the course and things were just going to be magically better. I think I internalized it in my head. I'm like, oh, it's like lifting weights. You do a couple sets, you come back the next day, you're stronger than before. Progressive overload. I thought maybe I golfed for the season. I'm going to take this nice long rest to recover, and I'll come back and maybe get a little bit more finesse, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I don't, okay? I am just eating the ground, man. I am chopping. Dude, I could garden with a 7-iron better than I could with a shovel. I've just chopped, boom, boom. I don't know why, man. And I'm hitting it so hard, I feel like the earth spins just a little bit faster for a second. And all of a sudden, you're like, dang, did 45 minutes just pass? I don't know why. Maybe I'm bending my knees. Maybe I shrunk a little bit. Maybe I choked up a bit too high on the club. I have no idea, but it's embarrassing and it's tough. And it's hard because you think you're going to do great. And I've said this before, but everything I do with confidence. Okay. And I don't know why this is. I don't know if I don't know if I really believe that I'm going to golf good or I'm just doing it for show. But I walk up like I always know what I'm doing. And the problem is that other people exist. So they see this, and they go, I got this, guys, I got this. And I'm like, who? I was doing that, too. There was an elderly couple, and they were like, yeah. And I get up there, right in the water. Hey, what do you say after that? My bad. I freaking fishes, boats, some sort of nautical joke, insert here. I'm out of balls now. It's a tough one though, but at least other people laugh. But I wish they were. I wish they were laughing with me, man. I wish they were. It's hard to be the butt of a joke, let me tell you. So that's why I've been eating my feelings. It actually has nothing to do with work or anything. It's just that I deserved a snack. Anyways, is there anything else I wanted to say? I don't really think so. No, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, there's some things we'll get to in the next one, but none of it's organized, so it's hard for me to even find what the point was. Where am I supposed to go? Where's the narrative? Well, guys, I think we lost the plot here. That would be a good title for a podcast, or just this show in general. Guys, welcome back to Lost the Plot, because we don't know what we're talking about, but we're going to talk about it without having the context or the details. We're just going to say words, and hopefully you string them together in a way that makes sense to you and only you. But anyways, guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're loving life, living it to the fullest. And even, again, you don't have to live with such ferocity. You don't have to make the most progress. So maybe you're not living life to the fullest. Maybe you're living life to the least, but that's good enough. It's good enough to live, And people say fart sounds aren't good. But even if that's your life, if that's, hey, you know what, my 2025 has been, hey, that's good enough to me. All right, everybody go out there and lay it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My name has been Tristan Sartoris. It will be tomorrow as well. And this has been Full Circus. I'm gonna drink this maybe, but I'm feeling kind of lively, so I don't know if I want to take a nap. Guys, God rest my soul. Bless me. Hopefully, I do not go and get myself a snack, even though I deserve it, and we all deserve snacks. But we're gonna practice discipline. I'll see you in the next one.